There's two vertical stabilizers and rudders created. Boy, if I had it to do over again, I would do it quite differently. For instance, I cut some off the top to make a gap. Probably didn't need to do that. I thought I did. Now I got a big gap up there. No big deal. I've got nylon pinned hinges in both of them. I mean, they really very, very loose. Even the little bit of U-hoop pour that's in them just kind of gives them a little bit of a wanting to go back to the center, perhaps. They just move really easily. I got the bottoms correct, I think. Like this is going to matter. It's just this gap up here that I didn't like. Now, also, I guess I could come and cut off just a hair of this, even with this, down through here. But that would take that much control surface off. And because I'm just a hair worried about 1 inch of control surface, I'm going to leave them as long as possible. I wished I'd have made them 1.5 inches. Don't think 2 inches, but I wished I'd have made them 1.5 inches now. If I had it to do over, I'd make them 1.5 inches, and I wouldn't add any to this gap up here. Other than that, I think they came out good for my first ever attempt at making rudders in a place where it wasn't pre-done for me. So now I have to cut a place for the servo and put a control horn in the rudder. There you go. I'm getting ready to hot glue those servos in there. The only thing I've got left to do on them is cut a place down through here for the wire to go. I started to do that on the other side and didn't want it on the outside. Figured I'd do it on the insides. So I messed up that outside there a little bit. Such be life. So like I say, hot glue these in. Control horns on them. They're in neutral. These control horns are glued on. I haven't cut the excess off yet because they're not cured. Same over here. And then we'll be ready to put the vertical stabilizers and rudders on the horizontal stabilizer and elevator. That's the tail assembly for now. I'm not going to attach the vertical stabilizers until I get in the M2 threaded rod to put my linkages in right here. And once I've got my linkages in here, I've also got to make a little slit right there for the servo wire to go in. And then I will glue it on. Once it's glued on to that piece right there, this little piece is glued inside there. Oops, this piece actually is glued inside there to help capture it. Same thing on the other side. Oh, I do have a carbon fiber extra structural support I do put in. But that's basically it. The booms are there. They're not screwed into the couplers here yet, but I won't do that until the threaded rod arrives. Everything's been done on the wings. The control horn's been glued in. Servo's been hot glued in. Control horn put on that. All the carbon fiber rods. I have not glued in this foam yet because I haven't created the track in this one for the antenna over there, the big long antenna. I have to make a channel for that down through here, and when I make that channel, I'll also put the servo wire through. But I have to leave this part open until really, really late in the build, because this slot right here is where the control wires for the two rudders and the elevator in the back come through the booms. This one This side will be like the elevator and one rudder, and this other side will be one rudder coming through the center. The servo wire will actually run down the center of this boom, like it does in the other one right now. So this gets put on really like last, and that's what captures this servo wire and the antenna wire that'll be in this one, and the video transmitter 3 wires that'll be in that one. So that's all done. And that means that this more and more is the log jam. Here's the pigtails, power pigtails for the flight controller. Here's the flight controller's pins to be soldered on. Here's the video transmitter sitting here for wires to be put on it long enough to go down a wing. Here is those connectors I told you about for increasing the length of the airspeed sensor on that flight controller. Here's the Dragon Link with its associated telemetry connection and radio control connection sitting there ready to go. I do believe this is where the jam is right now. I found that I had enough 2mm threaded rod to do up my servos on the tail. So there's the new rudder with the linkage push rods installed. That's what I need. I just hope the rudder surface is enough. I think it's going to be pretty good. Continue along here. There's the second one, complete. With a slit down through here to capture the wire in it. So there's 2 vertical stabilizers, 2 rudders finished. And there's the horizontal stabilizer and elevator ready. And all 3 of these get glued together. And the way this works is this area right here gets glued to this. And then after that's glued together, then this little foam piece gets put right in there. And then I'm going to put a carbon fiber rod between these 2 surfaces for strength. All right, let's get to it. Well, there's the vertical and horizontal stabilizers finished. And look, the rudder's actually moving the same direction with a Y connector on them. All right, I've got those 2 little foam parts to put on, but that is it. The calm before the storm. Everything here's sitting here curing. The booms are on. I've got the little carbon fiber rods for strengthening the vertical stabilizers here, with curing one side of them. The other side of the little 45-degree PLA parts I print to do them is sitting here waiting on the next step. Over here I have pre-staged everything I need to solder. There's the Dragon Link RC receiver. There's the extended I2C cable for the airspeed sensor. Here's the flight controller, all its pins and everything. This is the 1.2 video transmitter with everything it needs. And the solder station is ready. Not sure I am. Alright everyone, I'm going to wrap this here. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My wife and I have some errands to run today, and I also have some parts arriving. I got a battery for the camera and an antenna for the camera coming in today. I may start all this soldering tonight, or I may wait till tomorrow to do it. As soon as I get the soldering finished, there's not much left putting this whole thing together. So there's probably only going to be one, maximum 2 more videos on the build of this thing, and then we'll be to the software tuning, and it's just another Ardu plane, so not much to that I need to show. Thank you guys.